This is the part 2 of this topic. If you have not watched part 1, I strongly advise you do before this edition so you can make a meaning of this topic. In part 1, I read the responses of some men on why they go for another women and perhaps have little regard for the wives of their youth. This is not to justify them or encourage such actions of abandoning women. I am doing this as a warning to our women, first to mothers to teach their daughters how to manage men when they are down, and secondly to young women not to fall into the ditch so many women have fallen into. Therefore, let me give you the other reasons some men prefer. 1. This one said, no man wants to drop the woman that suffered with him. However, the experience of most men in the hands of these so-called joint burden bearers is better imagined. Most men are just bearing them, waiting for the right time to leave. How easy is it to continue to live with a woman who sees you as someone who has failed? But when suddenly you become important in life, they always remind you that you won't have become somebody in life without them. These and many other reasons are why men move on with other women. Someone who won't be reminding them of their ugly past or regularly insult them with it. That was how Michelle Obama is claiming that without her, her husband wouldn't have become an American president. See, women? Another response. There are men who, no matter how good their wives are, let the wives be knocking her head on the ground for them, they will still look out. That oju kokoro, what do you call that in English, will kill them. It's in their DNA. The fact that they are unable to finance it cripple them from looking at other women. But immediately money comes, that is when they will remember that their wife cannot cook. She doesn't know how to dress. She is too dark. She is too horrible. That is when you will hear some men say variety is the spice of life. Where was that variety when they were poor? Some men are just like that. Another response. In most cases, when a man decides to marry a second wife, what the man is seeing and concerned about is his own immediate pleasure and convenience. Life is definitely more than this. Unless the marriage becomes life-threatening, a man should exercise caution in making this decision. I am in my 50s. Most people my age come from polygamous homes, and I can tell you from experience that polygamy is evil. In most cases, it's not the man who suffers the consequences of polygamy. It's mostly the children. No matter how beautiful the polygamy setting looks on the surface, there is always an underlying envy and strife that can be very dangerous, particularly between wives and children. When the Bible says in James 3:16, for where there is envy and strife, there is confusion and every evil work, the Bible knows what it's talking about. I believe Jesus knows how destructive this arrangement might be. That's why he admonished men to have just one wife. In all polygamous setting, there will always be evil. And if you know the extent to which some wives will get to protect their own interest and their children's interest, most men will think twice before exposing their children to such. Unfortunately, all men can think about is their own enjoyment and getting back at the wife who has treated them badly. When my mother was alive, she would tell me the extent our fathers went to ensure these wives did not harm themselves or children, like taking them to shrine to swear that they will not do evil to each other. Sir, it did not work. My own stepmother, who happens to be the first wife, dealt wickedly with me. She died about 20 years ago, but still she came to me in my dream crying, asking me to please forgive her. I am standing today because there is someone in heaven called Jesus Christ, and I am just cleaving to him. And many of our siblings have similar testimonies, but these men have enjoyed themselves and left children behind that will bear the brunt of their polygamous venture. Another response, number 4. Women should know the cultural and religious tendencies of the man they are dealing with. If you marry a Muslim, don't ever complain your husband wants to marry the second wife. If he is a prince, don't ever complain he wants to take the second wife. Women, know the cultural and religious tendencies of the man you are dealing with. Response 5. Money a bastard. Money has a spirit too. No man knows himself until he's rich. So many men are humble because they do not have cash to do what they like to do. Many men are criticizing other women because they don't have what it takes to do what these people do. If they have the cash, they will do worse things. If money enter your hand, so many people will misbehave. Response 6. Women, don't be overconfident. Immediately some women got married, they lose their sense of beauty, forgetting that men are ruled by what they see. At no time will men be blind to fine things. If a wife throws away her sense of beauty, she has opened the gate to other beautiful women to tempt her husband. The power of temptation is directly proportional to the desires of the husband. He married a wife, not his mother. Women, your husband is not blind. Don't lose guard. Number 7, toxic marriage. If a man feels unappreciated or his wife is all about money, he may see it as a reason to end the relationship. Men leave their wives in part if they feel underappreciated. No man wants to live with an ungrateful wife. As women want to be complimented on their beauty, so men want to be complimented for what they provide. No matter how little we do, encourage us, not criticizing us. Nothing kills a man more than criticizing and comparing him. Men hate competition in love matters. Don't threaten us in our house. If you are angry, know how to express it. My wife will keep malice for weeks. I won't see her face for ground. Always nagging. Everything is about money, money, money. There is no element of support from her. There is a limit to emotional elasticity of men. Men may feel emotionally drained when there is excessive drama in the marriage. Wow. Let me put this to our men and women. Number 1, divorce, no matter the cause and effect, is useless. You will never get divorced from each other. You still live in the memory of one another. You still carry one another for the rest of your life, especially when there are children between you. Why not work out the challenges in your marriage? Number 2, parents, especially you mothers, why not teach your daughters some truth about marriage? Men are their most sensitive when they are down. Why don't you women know more about emotional management of men who are down? Number 3, it is often said that most women can't manage their successes over their husband. But I am of the view that this inability is highly promoted by men's hypersensitivity. When they are broke, little thing the woman says gets to him. Number 4, the society does not take kindly to a situation where the wife is in financial control of the home. Even when the man is ready to tag along with his richer wife, the society around him will call him gigolo. They will call him bewudani. This is not true of every man who marries a richer woman. That mindset gives every marriage like this a terminal date. Number 5, I advise women to be extra careful when their husbands are out of job or broke. Please cover up for the financial weakness of your husband. Put money in his pocket so he can do those things he should do without outsiders saying that his wife is the financier of the house. A man starts losing confidence in himself when he's unable to meet with his expectation in society, or when people now know that now his wife get the money the man they spend. Number 6, when the riches come, most men will remember the insult hurled at them in their poverty days by their wives. The claims by some women that they stayed in their husband or suffered with them pales into insignificance, or is often nullified by their actions or their utterances made when the husband is going through his trying times. Number 7, this is for men. Guys, let us be careful with this sex thing. In those days when you were unable to provide for the family, your wife, a single person, was doing 2 jobs. Caring for you, caring for the family. I often pity our women in Africa. So many of them will have gone out early in the morning, come back late in the night. They will still go to the kitchen to cook. Sometimes what they cook will not even get to them. Do you know how many times mothers go to bed with empty belly? And yet when they come to bed, men will tell them, oh yeah, look, women are not in the mood for this thing. Early in the morning, they wake up and they are still thinking, what will my family eat today? Then early in the morning, the chairman is up and you are still asking them, oh yeah, please, men, let us understand that Most women are not in the mood for these things. Find the time to help them be in the mood. Speak the right word to them. And that is the only time you can get them to have this sort of things we call this early morning sex, or you want to do it in the night there. Let us understand how they feel before we start asking them for things like this. Number 8, women. It is always good to have a very clear picture of the marriage table before the two of you, before you sign the dotted line with any man. Parents, don't forget to teach this to your daughters especially, because women often bear the brunt of broken marriages. A failed relationship is better than a failed marriage. Some basic things should be agreed upon before marriage. Number of children, the issue of polygamy, the responsibilities of each member of the family. Please, if possible, put pen to paper and agree on issues. Marriage has gotten to a stage where we have to walk into it with the two eyes wide open. If you say love is blind, marriage will cure that blindness. That will be my next lecture. Issues to agree upon before wedding. I hope I've been able to do justice to this topic on why men go for new wives after they become rich. For women who see themselves as victims, please take heart, but learn from the errors and teach your daughters especially not to fall into this pit. However, I speak to you men who have emerged from your trying days and perhaps married to other women to have mercy. Women are women. They are not created to suffer or carry loads for too long. They have their ways of reactions when the suffering becomes too long. My guys, you can't abandon your first wife because of what happened in your marriage as long as it was not life-threatening. Reach out to them. Remember the early days when you first met them. I plead with you. May God return peace to your hearts. May your home be happy again. Thank you. This is Mentoring Masterclass. I love you. Bye.